You heard the term no strings attached. Well, in this particular case, I got to reverse that one and say all strings attached. Donald Trump has so many strings attached to him that he looks like a ball of yarn. You know, back in the day where you got a ball of yarn and you started unraveling it, and in the center was this little cardboard core that all the yarn was wrapped around, so whichever way you pulled that yarn, that string on that yarn, obviously that cardboard center went right along with it. How long is it going to be before we finally wake up, and I'm not talking about myself or a lot of other people, but all of these Trump supporters and Trump ignorers, how long is it going to be before they wake up and realize that, number one, this guy is not operating with anywhere near a full deck, that he really doesn't want the job. He wants the title, but not the job. And he's unwilling to do any work that is necessary in order to get the job done. Folks, this was the one that if you had any type of brain matter whatsoever, this was the one that should have told you that Steve Bannon and Steve Miller are pulling a bunch of Donald Trump strings. Now, when I heard about this, I didn't believe it, so I went and looked for confirmation on this one. Donald Trump breaks 25-year tradition, doesn't visit Warsaw Ghetto Memorial during Poland visit. The official spokesman for the people in Poland stated, "We trust that this slight does not reflect the attitudes and feelings of the American people." Now, I'm going to read you this article, and then I'm going to go, even further into this. Earlier this year, President Donald Trump was criticized for spending only 15 minutes in Israel's Holocaust Memorial, but that's far more time than he gave to another memorial for the Third Reich's Jewish victims this week. On Thursday, a breaking news report from Haaretz revealed that Trump would not be stopping at the Warsaw Ghetto Heroes Memorial during his two-day trip to Poland. The memorial commemorates the heroes of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising of 1943, the 750 Jewish residents of the Warsaw Ghetto who took up arms and resisted Nazi troops that had arrived to deport the entire population of the ghetto to concentration camps. Jewish community leaders in Poland have criticized Trump's decision not to visit the memorial. A statement co-signed by the president of the Jewish community of Warsaw, the president of the Union of the Jewish Communities in Poland, and Poland's chief rabbi Michael Sherdrich, released on Thursday, condemned the snub. "We deeply regret that President Donald Trump, though speaking in public barely a mile away from the memorial, chose to break with that laudable tradition. We trust that this slight does not reflect the attitudes and feelings of the American people," said the statement. It also notes that every U.S. president since 1989 has made a point of visiting the memorial. Ivanka Trump, who is Jewish, did visit the monument and laid a wreath at its base with Sherdrich. She called the experience deeply moving in an Instagram post and failed to mention her father's slight. Sherdrich said that her visit was very, very important, but reiterated that her father's snub was sad. Okay, this is straight out of the white supremacist handbook, as far as basically trying to deny anything to do with the Holocaust or the Nazis going after the Jewish people. Steve Bannon and Steve Miller Incorporated. Now, I'm surprised that the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, hasn't made a public statement, but I guess he's keeping his powder dry on this one. But this basically is a slight to Jewish people, and I don't give a damn about his daughter going and visiting. You know, he's the damn president of the United States. She's not even an elected official. So as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't even count. Now, that's the Steve Bannon, Steve Miller puppet strings. Let's get on to Mr. Putin and his puppet strings. When Trump met with Putin, he banned the U.S. media from the meeting, basically. They were able to take a few pictures, and then he kicked them out. Unlike his counterpart, Mr. Putin, who stated that his media could stay. Now, Rex Tillerson, another fucking idiot, comes out and he knows what everybody's waiting for. We want to know what Trump said to Putin regarding interfering in our elections. Tillerson comes out and gives this bullshit response to the question. And even worse, he stated that Mr. Putin and I guess his Secretary of State counterpart asked for proof, and they were told that they need to speak with the heads of our intelligence organizations. If that isn't a crock of bullshit, I've never heard one. But even better, when the Russian Secretary of State, he's got another title, I forget what it is, but anyway, he goes in front of Russian TV and spins a completely different story. Now, I don't know about you folks, but Donald Trump's got a long track record of lying and getting his people to co-sign his lies. So I don't believe Rex Tillerson for an instant where he said that Mr. Trump was very forceful with Mr. Putin. That's a bunch of crap. I back that statement up by Trump's position on trade with the G20 heads of state. He's basically pushing to rescind all major trade agreements, making a statement that those agreements aren't helping us. Well, that's exactly what Mr. Putin wants him to do. He wants him to break up NATO and our relationship with the European leaders, and the fastest way to do that is to disallow or rescind all of your trade agreements. So, folks, Putin is pulling Trump's strings. Trump has got his nose stuck so far up Putin's ass that he could smell the breeze and what Putin ate for lunch today. You got Steve Bannon and Steve Miller pulling the strings as far as the white supremacist side is concerned. And folks, that commission for elections that Trump set up, all that is just an attempt to get all the names and information of every voter in America, and then they could specifically target a certain segment. Ooh, I wonder which segment they would target. I think it would probably be one with a lot of melanin in their skin in order to restrict the right to vote. Fortunately, you have over 40 states that have straight out told Donald Trump and his cohorts that they are not going to comply. Now you have 7 states who actually said that they would provide the information, which is, it's just mind-numbing that they would do something like this. Folks, we got a major problem here. We got a goddamn idiot that has been elected president of the United States. We got a whole bunch of racists that are pulling his strings. Then you got Mr. Putin that's pulling his strings as far as foreign policy is concerned, we really don't have a president here. We just have somebody that's got the title, but as far as his willingness to actually do the job, I don't think so. And the Republicans are basically allowing this guy to run roughshod and say and do whatever he wants to say or do, and they are not even willing to say a single word against him. Now, don't get me wrong, as far as this voting or election commission is concerned, I'm pissed off at the Democrats as well, because every last major Democratic figure should have been screaming to high heaven about this particular commission and what they were asking for. Thus far, the only ones that I really have heard anything of substance from have been several attorney generals and secretaries of states of various states, principally California, surprisingly Mississippi, and not so surprisingly Maryland. They have been on TV and vociferously voiced their opinion that this ain't going to happen, and what Trump is doing is basically trying to put America further at risk, because anytime you amass the kind of data that they're trying to obtain, and the funny thing about it is they want the states to upload the information over the internet to a spreadsheet. You're talking about a hacker's paradise. One of the cable news shows went to that particular website, and when they brought it up, there was a warning that any information provided to this site is in danger because the site is not secure. So, folks, there's so much stuff going on right now. It's very, very hard for us to focus our attention on any one particular thing. It's like if your house is on fire, okay, but there's basically a hurricane coming and there are robbers at the door, which one do you act on first? You make the call.